Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Hattrick Direct channel once again. Today, I'm joined by HT Johan and several other guests that we will meet in a minute for a special episode that we called the Comeback Kings. And who are these Comeback Kings, you may ask? Well, these are users that played the game for a long time, then quit the game for whatever reason, and after some years felt the urge to come back to Hattrick and start all over from scratch. So, Johan, what was the motivation, the aim for this stream?
Well, I mean, we often talk about we have these comeback campaigns, and that existing users know about. And the fact is that they are a very important way for Hattrick to keep strong. But we rarely talk about the fact that there is actually a lot of users that played for a very long time ago and then stayed away and comes back. So and I know many users who have said that it's like it becomes like when you played Hattrick for a long time, it becomes part of your life. But then you might quit for family reasons. You get kids. It's quite often, or you change jobs or something, and you kind of forget about it. And then after a few years, the urge comes back, as you say. So I thought it would be interesting to and because we just had a campaign, and not all of the ones that we will talk to today came back on that moment, but I think one of them did. That's not the point, but to welcome them back into the community and to ask, to see like what was Hattrick back then, and what's their impression of Hattrick now that they come back? I think that's especially the last question is the most interesting for me. So yeah, that's the basic scope. But we're also gonna get some some stories, I think, from back then, and some users that did interesting stuff in the community a long time ago. So it's gonna be fun, I think.
And I think actually some of our viewers also could share the same stories because we have some comments like "Me too," or this one came back for the fun, stayed for the homegrown league. Amazing feature.
Yeah.
So, shall we welcome our first two guests, for instance?
Yes, we have four guests, and we will introduce them two and two. So let's start with our two first guests from Germany and Romania, I think.
Yes, here they are. We have GM Akandar and Jetal. How are you
Yes.
guys?
Hello.
Hi guys.
Hi. Welcome. So we have both of you originally joined Hattrick in 2002, and then you left for whatever reasons. Akandar, you've made a quick career here. You came back last year, right? And you're already a game master. You also had some community projects back in the day that you can talk about in a minute. Manu, you were a GM in your first
Yes.
session. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I was GM in Romania for several years, and then it was a matter of very very busy period. I lost my first team, and with a lot of money at that moment. Now I'm seeing that those money were not so. So yeah, I tried to come back in 2015. Actually, I lost my team I started in 2002. I lost my team in 2013 due to lack of logins at that time, I think it's a common disease this one. So then I restarted for a short period in 2015, but I couldn't. It was exactly the period when I changed. Now I'm living in Belgium. I changed the country and the job and everything. And due to some friends that sent me an email, it's the former GM Rebelix that is, I think he's in the audience. Thank you, sorry for the tip. I said, okay, why not? Let's restart all together because it's a group of friends. We restarted as a group of friends. Rebelix, Shot it 333. It's another friend that restarted. We're all in the 6th league, and we're having our Saturday morning chats about matches and things like this. I restarted exactly one month ago, but it's very, very fun. Yeah.
Cool. So you're in the same series now with your friends.
No. Actually, they're in the same series. Me, when I reapplied for the team, I wanted to keep the name and the username and everything, and it was not possible using his invite link. I would have had another thing.
Okay.
But we are planning to do a sort of tournament and things like this. We're still playing together. It will be a lot of fun. It's not.
And Akadar, what was your way into Hattrick in 2002? What do you remember? It's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago, but I remember pretty well because I was invited by a work colleague back in the days, and I remember so well because almost all of my divisions, or like the whole floor, was playing Hattrick, and it was like a tradition Monday mornings. Yeah, first time you get to work, you need to talk about your results from the weekend. Yeah. So actually, I was working in as a developer back in the days, or I was learning to become a developer more or less. So we grew the idea to build a nice looking piece of program like Hattrick Buddy, which it was back in the days. And I mainly used it to build up my programming skills. Yeah, so I had to do something and since we all were playing Hattrick, I was saying like, I'll just code an assistant manager the way I wanted to be to behave like. And it was back in the days, it was a huge success. It had like 265,000 users in the peak. That was also part of the problem because I was doing it all on my own, and it was just way too much time I spent into it, and way too much time for support and everything. And I played Hattrick first time for 6 years until 2008. Yeah, and then a lot of things changed in my life. New work, new job, changed location, just different phase of life. It all didn't fit anymore. So and I'm happy to be back now because a lot of things, in my opinion, have changed for the better.
Okay, that's nice to hear. I'm sure a lot of Hattrick users still remember Hattrick Buddy. I do for sure. And I was looking in my old email about like receiving support emails from users who were angry that the Hattrick Buddy was not working, and I said, I don't know, I'm not responsible for it. I'm sorry. So but it's a popular piece of software.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's bring on the next two guests.
Okay, so we have here Toy Buffed from the Czech Republic, or Czechia now, and Provin from Barcelona, actually. Like me, from the same neighborhood. What a coincidence.
The same school.
Yeah, we just found out that we lived like 2 blocks away, but we've never met. So,
but and in age, are you more or less similar also? Or
I think I'm a bit older,
okay.
But we went to the same school.
Okay.
Actually,
nice.
It seems.
It's a small world.
Yeah, it's a small world. So, what would you ask them, Johan? For instance, the same questions.
Yeah, well, we have so Toy Buffed, you joined in 2005, and Provin, you joined in 2009. So have a little bit perspective. I mean, like for those of you who were not around, like in 2002 when the other two joined, Hattrick was still quite small compared to how it would get. I can't remember exactly, but maybe 100,000 users or something like that. But it was growing like crazy, and we peaked at almost 1 million users, and I think it was in 2008 or 2009. So just when you came into the game for the first time, Provin, was when Hattrick was on the peak, and yeah, this was just when Facebook was starting to take over the world, and I although I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that it had an impact on us, both that and the smartphones, that people started finding their communities in other places. So that's changed, because like in the early 2000s, there was not that many places that you could do what you did in Hattrick, like really find groups, like local groups and forums and everything. So it was quite special. But what can you tell us about how you found Hattrick and about your first periods here?
So very much like very much like Detail and sorry, who was first?
There you go ahead. If you start.
Sorry. So yeah, very much like Detail and Alexander. It was something big in the work I used to be at the time. I was Chase probably knows it. I was working in L'Auditori. It's a classical music venue in Barcelona, and like all the staff was joining, or we had some small competitions in between us, and it was really fun. Yeah, and it was the peak. So I think right after a few months, some of the people started quitting in the job, but I loved it so much, and I stick for, I believe, 9 years afterwards. So yeah, was enjoying a lot. I wasn't playing too hardcore though. It was more of a just to have fun. Yeah, I was spending all the money as soon as it came in, just on signings instead of a bit more long-term planning. But yeah, it was very cool. I even this was just right after I moved to London. I joined the LA team. There was an advert. The position was offered, and I joined. At the time, I was trying to become a translator. Yeah, I was trying to fill my portfolio. So this was like a very cool thing to learn and to prove myself. And just right after of course, at the time it was also when the new viewer was going to be released, so there was a lot of things to translate. It was just normal workflow. Yeah.
We actually have a lot in common, because I was in LA as well. And yes, and I studied translation and interpreting. I was supposed to be a translator, so yeah, we have really a lot in common. And actually, you were just saying, or like listing some of the dates and things that you did. We have this. So you stayed for 9 years, which is a good period of time.
Yeah.
I stayed a little bit longer.
You had a short return, and that didn't stick.
Yeah. What happened there?
I have no idea. I don't remember at all. I just saw that I sold one of my favorite players, and I'm very happy that I did, because now when I came back, I saw that he even played the Masters. He's like 53 years old or something like that. He was like my favorite youngster at the time, and I was very, very excited and hyped to teach him and training and stuff. And thankfully, I sold it, and he actually made his own career, with another team. But I don't remember anything else from that time.
Okay, so Toy Buft, you're next. What's your story? You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah. Sorry. I started in 2005 when I was 16 years old. Like, I think it was a holiday in July. And it was in the middle of the Hattrick boom. I moved that autumn to Norway for 1 year, and everybody played Hattrick there in my high school. And when I came back, when I was 17, we made a huge federation in Czech Republic that has, I think, 150 members. And yeah, I played for 5 years. to 2010, as you told, there was 1 million players or something like that. So I don't remember that it was less than 40,000 online people. It was like normal. It was 50,000 people online. Yeah, and I ended after my graduation at high school. I was on the university, and actually I started because I like football and I played Football Managers, and it was best like web browser Football Manager. So I started to play because of that, and yeah, in 2010 I played Football Manager like from FM from that game a lot. And started to be better and better, and in my opinion it outpaced Hattrick, because at the time I were comparing these games. Now I know that they are totally different, but in the time I compare. So I quit for I don't know 14 years, 30 years or something like that. Yeah, and one day, a year ago, at the evening, I thought to myself, how the game does look today. Yeah. But it's another story.
But you're now an assistant national coach for Czechia.
Yes.
So that's a quick re-entry.
Yeah. Because it was quick. It was quick because if I can move to another question, why did I come back again, and what happened afterwards? So I entered into summer 2023. I just wanted to look how the game looks like these days. Yeah, and my first impression was, wow, the game hasn't changed at all in 15 years. It's the same game. Yeah. Then I thought, wow, I know some guys who are still playing Hattrick from the former time, like 15 years ago. And I wrote them. They invited me into some Discord community, Czech Discord community. I became active, and at the beginning of my story, I started to work as a scout, like under 17 scout, and I was learning from my community how to deal with the work which is connected to national teams, and I'm helping still.
Yeah, and the Czech national teams have been really successful lately.
We have won the championship.
Cool.
Nice.
So, but were you involved in the national teams in your first time run?
It was very competitive milieu back in the times. There was a lot of young and ambitious managers at the time. Now the age average is plus 20 years. So nowadays guys are more okay, like they do not compete at all so much. So it's more about collaboration these days than it was 15 years ago. Yeah. So and when our community wants to make good setups and good to take care of the national teams in proper way, it takes a lot of time. So we need to cooperate a lot and to be close community which works together.
Yeah. That's nice. We were thinking of having a stream about national teams and how they cooperate. It's quite interesting, I think. I'm been trying to understand and follow the Swedish one. We used to be very good, but now like we have a long way to climb back up. So yeah.
There's actually a question that's probably related for Teupoft. It's this one. Is that the Feyenoord jersey? It reminds me of Van Hooijdonk.
Actually not. It's a Slavia Prague jersey.
Yeah.
I thought so.
I was gonna mention that, but since I'm a Malmö fan, it's not the best place for me to discuss Slavia Prague at the moment. We played recently.
Yeah.
We're gonna play. Sorry, no. We're gonna play.
Okay.
We're gonna play in the Europa League in January.
Tomorrow?
No, tomorrow. No, tomorrow we play Olympiacos.
Yeah, we play at Bilbao.
Yeah.
I like the colors though. They are identical with my favorite football team, Dinamo Bucharest. So
Yeah.
Nice.
It's actually a joke for my friends from Czech community because it's a very unpopular player.
Okay, so if Teupoft has had a really quick re-entry, I think we could say the same about GM Akenda, right? Because in only 2 years since he's been back, he's a GM already. So that's another strong re-entry. How did that happen?
Actually, I was just following the normal process of applying. So they were looking for a game master in the national forums, and I thought to myself, now I was really connected to Hattrick again. I had 4 teams, but I still found myself logging in and saying, somehow I still have some free time to help the users to do something in the community. So I said, why not apply to it? Yeah, and I think they just liked that back in the Hattrick Buddy days, I was used to just doing ticket work, right? So, and I was used to, I had a good reputation back then in the community. The guys remembered that somehow. And so they have this huge list of questions that they send you if you're suitable to be a GM. This was like 20 questions or something. So I guess I just answered them in a way that they said this guy could help us. And I enjoyed a lot doing because it's actually 2 things that we do. It's like helping the users is one thing by just helping them with their issues, and the other thing is helping to keep the game clean, right? To keep the game out of cheaters, out of people that don't behave, and actually preserve that community feel that we have. Without the work that we do, that would not be possible, I think. I can say now. So I enjoy doing it, but I can tell you it's really work.
So are people asking you to get the Hattrick Buddy back, or are you the community asking you to get the app back?
Honestly, I'm happy to say it's not necessary anymore, right? Because back in the days, Hattrick was like, if friends asked me, why did you do this program? Why can't Hattrick do it themselves? And I always told them, well, if you log into Hattrick, you see what your team is now, but you have no history, you have no statistics of deeper meaning and everything. And that's what I provided with that tool. And I'm happy to say that most of that, what we did in the tool, is now in the site where it actually belongs. So actually there's no use for that tool anymore. I actually use Hattrick Organizer now, which was like a competitor back in the days, you can say. But I rarely use it because most of the things actually you can do on the site. And what I really like is that the game has evolved to be a flexible tactic game. You know, back in the days it was just mono skill. It was like slow training across the board, and every team more or less looked the same. Nowadays you can actually be flexible. Yeah, you can have players that play various positions. Yeah, the training is much more dynamic. Yeah, you can train 23, 24-year-old players, and back in the days, like, why do you invest in that player? That's like, forget about it. Go to the 17-year-olds. So that's one of the main reasons why I enjoy it a lot more these days, is because you actually can do much more with your team.
Okay, that's nice to hear. And I mean, like, when you're in it, for the whole time, it's hard to, remember when things change, because everything is gradual. So I think it's interesting to hear it from someone who left and came back.
Yeah. And from a current GM, we can go to a former GM and ask about that to Jedal. I mean, are you looking forward to being a GM again, or is not something that you have in mind now that you're back?
No, not for the moment. I mean, I mean only for the fun for the moment. I don't know. Maybe in 1 year by now. Okay, Akendar came back a little bit earlier than me. I have to remember you guys that okay, I'm back in the game yesterday. Yeah, it was a month for me since I get the new team. Anyway, for me it was very, very funny hearing Akendar speaking. Okay, look. Explaining that he's having 4 teams, because I remember that back in my days of GM, I used to lock guys with 4 teams. Now they are putting them GMs. No, it's just a joke. No, but this is actually the one of the first things that changed in the game. The game became, let's say, a little bit different, and there are a lot of things that I enjoy a lot, and I really like being back here. For me, it's like meeting an old friend, and I haven't seen this friend for years, and it's like is this sensation, you know, that the years passed, the friend changed, and you know, there are some old things that you still like in this friend, and you are discovering new things that you didn't know about him, and you are rediscovering some new things and new features of your old friend. But yeah, for me it's exactly like this, and it's nice. I kept contact with a lot of friends and a lot of former colleagues from the GM team, Romania, and not only Romania. During the years, we had beers and things like this, but I never felt like okay, I will come back to Hattrick. Up until this moment, when I felt it like this. Okay, I will go back, and now I'm logging in daily, things like this. I'm following transfers, what's happening on this one. It's quite fun.
So you came back for the reinvitation that happened recently, right?
Yes,
September.
and Sorin is in the chat. I saw him in the chat. Is Sorin Istrate in the chat? He's a former GM also from Romania. It's we kept contact also with GM Lazio. If you remember, is the first GM in Romania. I'm still good friend in real life with him, with his brother Yubu that was also a GM. So we kept quite close. The community of GMs, former GMs. We kept a quite let's say family atmosphere in here. Not always, but in general we have it like this.
So how did we convince you to get back to the game?
No, actually, it was not very hard work. He just sent me an email or something. I don't know, a reminder or an invitation. I don't. Yeah, something like this. And I was like, it's Hattrick. Yeah, let's try it again. I was exactly in the period that I needed Hattrick in my life, back in my life, you know. And it was exactly what I needed. And I thank you, Sorin, for that. If you're in the crowd, thank you very much.
And I think it was probably the same with Proven, right? You got the email, I guess, the reinvitation email, and you thought, let's go back again. Or how was that?
For me, it was the perfect timing, because very recently I had my second kid. So it was one of these sleepless nights where you just browse like mindlessly the whatever you can grab to distract yourself for a bit, no? And I saw the email, and I thought, look, this might be the perfect timing, no? Because with a kid, with a newborn, probably a lot of you guys know, you don't really have time to play games that demand a lot of time. So a game like this, where you could think on your strategies while you are changing diapers or going to work, or that it didn't take from you a lot of active time. it was just perfect. So I started, and I was lucky enough to, I think it was my second week, I got a very interesting youngster in the academy. And I was super hyped with it. So I just went to read a lot of stuff, how the game is now, what are the strategies, the cycles, and so on. I even reached out to national team, and I think they are interested. But let's see how it plays out. So having a blast now, taking the game more seriously than before. Like let's really take all the juice you can get from it, no? And let's see if I make it to 5th or 6th division, 4th division in a few years. Let's see.
Yeah. But there's so much good video content, like if you want to get deeper into different tactics and stuff like that. So it's quite cool now.
Did you find many differences between the old Hattrick and what you found when you got back, Proven?
I found the core to be the same, which I like, because I like the slow pace. Yeah, I see a lot of discussions around accelerating the pace or not. To me, I'm a fan of this type of pace. I like to see the team growing slowly. Even I don't care. I'm losing almost all the games I'm playing now, but I don't care, because I like to think that the long-term strategy is going to work. No. So in that sense, I found it the same. The new features that I found, well, one of them that I couldn't enjoy was at my time, it was the new viewer. Even though I worked on it, I translated a big part of it, but I didn't get to enjoy it because I quit just right after all the translation was finished. And I found it to be amazing. I found it gives a lot of it makes the games thrilling, to the point that some games you know that you're going to lose and you don't have that much interest. But if they are close, like I had a cup game at the beginning of the season, and I knew with a counter attack I was going to get that game in my favor, and it happened. It's really thrilling. I love this part. I love the training planner. These type of tools are very useful. So I'm actually very satisfied with what I saw on my way back.
That's true. Nice. It happened the same to me, because I also came back like 1.5 years ago, and those tools like the Hattrick planner, the team analysis, they were like, oh, this exists. I didn't need to download a CHPP app to work on all these things, and yeah, it was really an interesting and useful tool. Is any of you thinking about any other tools that have made the game better? Toy?
Yeah. For me, the biggest change was that Hattrick Arena has been introduced. I think it's great, especially for me as a new player. Yeah. Because I can have fun even when I don't have a strong team to compete with my friends from the Czech community. So I was number 1 in season 85 ranking, and number 2 in under 21 ranking, and so on. So yeah, it's fun, and so Hattrick Arena is very good for me. Another thing which is very good and was mentioned here is that players can have multiple teams, can own multiple teams, because I remember that 20 years ago it was a big issue, and it was an area where a lot of people cheated. Yeah. So that's great. So I have already 4 teams there.
Did you get the 4 teams right when you went back, or like one after the other after months?
my team is called after a former player from 2005, Bashar Ubek. He was in Nigerian attacker. So I started a Nigeria team 1 month after my comeback. Then I very soon, after another month, I made a new team, and I have also a homegrown team, which is another good thing that you started to you edit secondary cups, because I didn't remember it from before, and I took one secondary cup with my homegrown team. So it's great that Sapphire Cup, that newbie can achieve some great things very soon. So it was great. What I don't enjoy is that for me the federation chat and conference system didn't change, and it doesn't work at all. Like I go to the conference only to read unwritten manual or while elections to get some bans from the moderators, and that's all. So our community works on Discord. We meet on Discord, and that part of the game haven't changed. Like maybe just to reverse.
I found that too. There was less people in the forums, and I was wondering where they were when I was back, and I found out about Discord, and okay, there they are.
We have actually we have integrated Discord now, so it's possible to link your Hattrick user with Discord. We just haven't started the channels. We have some channels that for back like for staff purposes, but I guess we want to do it. It's just a question of how do we moderate and all these things. It's a little bit, we want to do it step by step, and of course users already have their Discord community, so we're not looking to replace that, but I think there is a place for it, that we could have some Hattrick supported channels as well.
Okay, what do you think if we ask some of the questions by the viewers to our guests? For instance, of course, LA Alpa, he always asks very good questions. Did you guys prepare your games with pen and paper back in the days, or with CHPP apps? I guess what GM McIntyre would reply. I guess he used HTBuddy.
Everyone did, huh? No, everyone did back in the days. No.
I was 16. I didn't have any strategy, so I didn't plan anything.
But actually, in at my work, they used a lot of Excel sheets. I don't know. I was never a fan of this, but a lot of people actually use lots of Excel sheets. And my personal highlight in this regard was we had a nice community in the Cologne area where we actually met in an internet cafe every 2 to 3 weeks to watch the games. And it was at the beginning was 5 people. Then it was a crowd of 20, 25 people growing, and we had to almost rent that whole internet cafe so we don't disturb the other guests. And actually one guy printed out his Excel sheet because he wanted to discuss the strategy, and he came with this amount of sheets into that. And I was like, are you serious? Yeah, that happened as well.
It was actually when I went to my first Hattrick meeting in Stockholm in '99, and I was still not part of the Hattrick team then, because we were just working on the new version of Hattrick, and I was just playing the old version. But then it was required that if you wanted to come to the Hattrick meeting and drink beer, you had to bring your team printed out. So everyone came with a folder. And then they passed the folders around and to show the teams, and that was quite nice.
Johan, the funniest fact is that at a meeting in Romania, at a certain moment, we were discussing something like these strategies and things like, okay, players, and it was an old guy, just happened to be in the area, you are talking about what? You're in the second division in Romania. You're managers of what kind of teams? The guy was really thrilled about, and we were discussing over beers there. I don't know, for half an hour, 1 hour, things like that. It was like I remember, because you were talking about national teams and things like that. I remember Howie Luce, the first Romanian who led the national team, the under 21 national team to gold in November 2003, I think it was. We were in a student dormitory. Actually, we saw the match. We were like 5-6 people in there drinking. I don't know if he's in the crowd in here or if he's hearing that, but probably he remembers. We saw the match in there. We cheered. We had a lot of drinks and things like that. And actually at the time the teams were made pen and paper. Everybody was writing down the players on the piece of paper, considering the skills and things like this. It was. I'm still doing it for just for the knowledge of the user who asked about it. So yeah.
And actually, back in the times, you didn't like what I remember. All the best teams, they traded. Like they had 50 players and they traded. For example, do you remember Boca JBA? I think from Germany. He won. He rise through the leagues for about 7 seasons in a row to win first league and Hattrick Masters, I think. Yeah, he was a trader. You played for one attack with multi-skill players. So I was friend of Hattrick Masters winner, and I don't remember like some strategic talks with him at all. It was but it's 20 years ago.
Yeah. No, I mean, trading is still part of it, but maybe it's not as successful strategy as it used to be today.
And so, did you guys? Well, some of you already said that, but did you guys meet with people to watch the games? Because I had some friends, and I remember sometimes we met, but there were other times in which I had like lunch, because matches in Spain are at that time more or less lunchtime. And I remember that I was kind of anxious because I didn't have a computer there, and it was 2002, 2003, and I could only get the SMS into my mobile phone in case of goals. And now it looks like so old-fashioned and outdated. But at that time, you had to spend some real-life money to order the game to send you SMS for a goal. And I still have images like that. Do you remember any moments like this?
Yeah, they were actually back in the days. One of our favorite let's say distraction was to go together and to get together to see the matches. It was Sunday, not Sunday. It was Saturday morning. I remember. Okay, the training we were discussing over the phone or something like this. There were not so many like today, okay, on WhatsApp and things like this. You do WhatsApp groups or whatever, or conferences on messengers, different kind of messengers. But we were discussing over the phone, whatever, and then we were seeing the matches in an internet cafe or something like that, and it was really fun. I mean, okay, we were all drunk at, I don't know, in the middle of the day in the end, because you have some were celebrating, some were very pissed off about the results, but otherwise it was really nice. A lot of people around us, as I told you, they didn't know what we were talking about and why we are so happy, why we are cheering when a team was having a goal or something like that. Something that you have, this brings also the spirit of the community, because you have something in common with some other people that, okay, the others around you, maybe they don't know what is this all about, but some of them, they are joining just like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, this thing. I mean, I'm sure you've also felt it, I mean, of course, people that play Hattrick are very different, but there is something about like people that have this kind of patience. Like, everyone that plays Hattrick, they have patience and they are somehow interested in football, statistics, I don't know. But it's very often, very often get along with them when you meet them in real life. It's, my experience, at least, that and I've met a lot of Hattrick users, that it's just easy to, and I guess it's because we have this one thing that we have in common, and so there's always something to talk about. But it's interesting that you say that, Proven, that you like the slow pace, and we live in a world where everything has to be quick, and everything has to be instant gratification. So I'm quite happy about, and I've been reading now. I have teenage kids. I've been trying to understand this world they live in with social media and so on, and it's quite interesting that there's a game out there that is trying to do exactly the opposite of what most games are trying to do today. So yeah, we'll have to stick to that, I think.
There's actually a comment that was written half an hour ago, but I can't highlight it because it's somehow related to what you're saying. It's this one by Danny. He says, I came back 3 times. First team was Johan Mayen. After almost 2 seasons, I quit the game because I was young and there were so many options. The second time I quit because it's not a game for quick success and fast dopamine like the kids nowadays are used to. Then I forgot my old account and started a new one, but this didn't last either. I've now found my old one and a good community in which we're talking about successful strategies to play Hattrick, and that's what keeps me playing this game. Which brings me to a question. Do you guys, are you guys involved in the community again? Do you find it's, of course, not the same, but it's still active in your countries or the ambience you're used to be in? Who wants to reply?
I can.
I will start. I will start because I'm one of the oldest, if you allow me. So look, now I started. I told you 1 month ago, and in Romania, I just announced my friends. I had some drinks several years ago with some of my friends from Hattrick, although I wasn't playing at the time, and I started to announce them, okay, look, I'm back into this Hattrick world, and they started to treat me like, look, they revived Ceausescu or something like this. It's they are treating me like an old mommy just came back to life. Something like that. So I'm still taking the temperature of the community, because the community today it's a little bit different than the one I know from back in the days. But yeah, there are a lot of people, a lot of new people who are asking, okay, who's this guy or something like that. He came back. He came back to life from where? I mean, like we didn't know him or something like that. But it's I intend to be very, very much alive in the community.
Okay, Proben, you were going to reply as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that on the first these 9 years that I played at the beginning, I wasn't involved at all in the community, or just very little, maybe asking questions from time to time in the forums. And that's something that I changed this time, and something that I really recommend to everyone joining or that joined a while ago to get involved in the federations. The people there is lovely. They are very happy when there is new people. They always answer your posts, regardless of what you are asking. And of course, in Hattrick, at least if you have one team like I do, there's a lot of time off, time that you either are planning with your Excel file or you're just waiting for the next game. So forums is a very nice place to spend time on, because you learn, you have a lot of fun, and you meet really cool people. That's my experience, recent experience.
Yeah,
Nice.
Actually,
So
yeah.
Can you recommend any federation then? That's what federation are you in?
Well, I'm in the Spanish Federation now.
Okay.
I just started casually because I wanted to know if that youngster was worth the shot, and I stayed because they are very cool. So that's mainly on when I'm hanging around.
Cool. Yeah, I remember in the old days when I think it was 2003 when we translated the game into Catalan. The Catalan Federation was really active, so active that we even created 2 football teams to play in the league, to real live. I mean, us were playing, and the idea was to create just one, but we were so many interested, and we created such a great group that we had to end up creating 2 teams. Did any of you do any kind of thing like this one, like creating a football team or something similar outside the game with someone from federations? Toivoft?
Like in 20 years ago, we played real football. I don't know, cups every year, and it was 30 teams each year, like made from Hattrick players from Czech and Poland and Slovak. We won it 2 or 3 times, maybe, I think. It happened a lot. And I am still active until today. The community is great. I'm also part of Nigeria community, just to look how they make it. Guys, hello. Nice to connect with other people. And so we played football as well.
In Romania, we still have a cup. It was a cup made in the, I don't know, maybe 2004, 2005. It was a cup of real football, mini football between federations. We're still having it. We develop it into some other, let's say, different competitions. Nowadays, I think there is only 1 or maybe 2, but they were like at maximum, I think we had 3-4 competitions, not in the same time. Former GM Hai Hui and now GM Jukel from Romania, they're still playing in some of the teams. I know that for sure. And one of the cups that is still present in Romania, and they are still playing real football in it. Is called. It's having the name of former GM Per Sempre, who sadly passed away several years ago. So we are keeping this, or the community is keeping this in a way, just as a matter of a memory of a former GM, and also to bond between Hattrick players.
Nice.
If I maybe can add this comment, we had a discussion in the German forums recently where I posted that that I think Hattrick has one thing that it distinguishes from all the other games out there. I played a lot of PlayStation games. I played a lot of mobile games, mobile app games, all what's out there. And when I play those games, I try to be good at them. And you always have to invest more and more time, more and more money. And you always reach that point where it turns into a frustration, not an enjoyable game anymore, where it turns to work. And Hattrick, you can play for really a long time. You can always also be successful, but it's absolutely stressless. It's like an enjoyable game. You can play it for like years, but you never come to that point where you say, you throw your PlayStation out of the window, like something like those moments. Of course, yeah. I mean, I know discussions about the match engine and everything, but you never know. Maybe that situation appears, but yeah. Generally, I think that's what it distinguishes from all the other games out there.
Okay, let me highlight another comment from another user who came back, Taldivarismo. He played from 2003 to 2007. He came back because he literally ran into the app in the App Store, which is something interesting. And he says, I couldn't believe the game would have an app. Then I found out that you can have more than one team and that midfield is no longer so dominant, which were my main reasons for stopping before. The game has evolved for the better. So do you guys agree? And did you find any differences in game playing when you went back? Because, for instance, my first mistake was buying mono-skilled players.
Welcome to the club.
Oh, look at the player, just 1,000 euros, and he's excellent. Let's get it. But then, so any other like mistake or something that you found different, guys?
Actually, I had to get used to the various training speeds. Yeah, so I found myself quite surprised when I initially started training my players. Like, whoa, what did they do? They start growing so fast. Yeah? And what I like is, and that's the main reason why I started 4 teams, is that you have really a flexibility of various tactics which all work more or less. You have the long shot tactics, which I want to practice with one of the teams just to have it done, because I want, and like a counter attack team, you can make like an all out Norwegian team. You can make like a well balanced team. Everything works somehow, and everyone has been successful with those tactics somehow, and that has not been the case back in the days.
Yeah, I think we are all making the same mistakes in the beginning, or when we are taking it from where we left. We are doing the same mistakes. For me, I'm very, very young back into the game right now, and I'm still contemplating the fact that, as you said, I can buy a formidable defender for 1,000 euros or something like this. It's like, okay. But then I remember that, okay, the game changed a little bit, and it's but there were a lot of changes. And for me, I can tell you one thing from my point of view. The biggest change right now is the app. So the app that you have the possibility to have the app with you on your smartphone. As a funny fact, when I bought my first smartphone, it was an iMate K-Gem in 2005-6 or something like this. It was something brought from United States. It was exactly for Hattrick, and I remember that I struggled to log in with those tiny things. I had to enlarge it on the screen. It was, believe me, now with the app, everything is probably I wouldn't have lost my first team at that time if I had the app at that moment, because it's much easier with the app to make everything.
It's something that has changed a lot also, because like we developed the app as a companion. So we were kind of assuming that everyone plays the web, and then they use the app for when they are not on the desktop. But what we realized in the last 2-3 years is that like more and more of our new users, they never go to the website. They just play the game in the app. So like now that we look at the app, we realize there's still a lot of work to do, because there's a lot of stuff that is not really well explained if you discover Hattrick in the app. But it's quite amazing that so many users actually stick to the game after having started playing it this way. So but it's good to hear that you think it's useful. I think it is. So is there anything that you would like, because that was one of the questions that I wanted to come to, how quick should the game change? Like you mentioned that things have changed since you were gone, and do you think too much has changed, and do you think there's still things that should change? And if so, how fast can Hattrick change? Because we all value the slow pace, so what is your perspective on that?
For the first look, the game didn't change. For the second, it changed a lot, to the better game. It's much better game than it was. I think the addition of Hattrick Arena helped a lot for the guy who want to play it faster. And actually, I wouldn't change the speed. It's fine. It's nice. I would prefer to repair bugs and bad things in a faster way, but small things. Like, for example, I don't like when you are a son of some golf player, you still see the name of the golf player who you cannot open because there is gone and so on.
Yeah.
Why it's not hidden, and I don't still understand resilient players, for example. Why do they exist? But these are small things, yeah. But general, it's nice that it's low for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not suggesting to make the game faster, but I was more like, there is things that can change, like new tactics or different ways to train or whatever. And if we change things, how fast can that change be? Like, how much time do we need to introduce new things in the game? So what's the overall speed of change in the game? But yeah, it seems that we're not too far off.
Johan, actually, you have to think, because as you are responsible for these games, you are developing things in this game. You need to think at a pace that will keep actually this slow pace, but not to fall into the side of being boring or something like this after a while for new users. So I don't know. We are belonging, let's say, to a category that we already love Hattrick for a long period of time, and we are still here, even though we were away for a period. We are still here in a way, but for the younger ones, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how let's say a 20 years old from today would see Hattrick. I really don't know. But I'm curious about it. But I think you are doing a great job. You're keeping the pace. The game for sure.
Maybe that's another stream, like to invite for teenagers. How do you play Hattrick?
Are you implying that we don't look like teenagers, Johan?
Let's say more mature teenagers. Let's put it this way. A bunch of more mature teenagers.
Yeah, actually, there was a comment by Lealpa again. Based on this stream, we can see that 4 out of 6 Hattrick users have beards. So it was right to implement beards in Hattrick 2 years ago.
Of course.
It's actually more. I think that counts as well. No?
No, but now look, guys, I'm 49, but I'm always when I'm asked what is my age, I'm always saying that I'm 19 or something like this. So it's not really 49. I'm feeling like in my 30s still.
Maybe you can say the years you spent in Hattrick as your age.
Yeah. But regarding your question, Johan, I think actually I think we could be a little bit more. You could try a little bit more things, especially maybe if you find things that don't affect all the users. For example, if you focus on the user group of new users, for example, when I joined back in the days, I don't know if you do that regularly, but we had this. This was like a summer campaign, and we had this summer tournament for the returning users, where you were automatically signed in. And that directly felt like competition. It was not really a competition because it was like an arena style tournament. But it was nice to compete with other users that recently joined. Maybe it would be a good idea to, for example, in your first 1 or 2 years, you will stand no chance in the regular league system. Like maybe focus on this way to say, how can you make the experience for new users in the first 1 or 2 years better? Because if they stay for 1 or 2 years, they will probably stay for longer. So, for example, like their own league system where they don't compete with the others, and after 1 year you can promote into the regular system when you know how to play the game, like things like that. I don't think many of the more mature users actually would have something against those kind of changes. So
no. That was
One other thing that I find it a little bit surprising. When I came back in Hattrick, I thought that Hattrick kept pace with the real life changes and things like this, and that it is possible to have 5 changes during a game. Well, think about that. Maybe, I don't know. This is, I know that it will generate a lot of chaos because there will be some managers that will change, let's say, the system of play 3 times during a game or something like that. I don't know how the engine will cope with that, but I think that enlarging a little bit the number of changes during a game will be or could be interesting from some points of view. But that's just a young user talking about that. User.
Then we should introduce VAR too, you think?
Well, some comments about VAR would be just fine and nice. I think there will be some guys in some corner of the world just swearing and saying bad words about VAR, not about the engine of Hattrick at least. So.
No, I mean technically it would be no problem to have 5 substitutions. It's more like the interface would break, so we would need to redesign the match chart a little bit. And also there's these, how does it affect different tactics and so on. But we don't have anything against it. It's just not feels that crucial. So maybe when it fits in with other stuff we want to do, it's a good time to do it.
Exactly, no, but just to think about some of the changes, because you are asking about some changes, what to do and things like that. Maybe someday this will be.
Okay, Johan, have you seen any question that you would like to highlight at any time during the stream?
Yeah, there's been quite a lot of questions that are not related to the stream. So I have just because we still have other stuff to talk about. So I have been ignoring them.
I'm actually like saving these questions just in case, but of course I think that now that we have all these guests, that we should like highlight the questions that are related to them. So I highlight this one, for instance. Pablo RT says, how nice to be able to see and listen to different people on stream. I'm one of the people who recently returned because of work and studies. It was difficult for me to stay in the game at the time. I was also a volunteer during that period, and it was a pleasant experience, which unfortunately I could not continue for the same reason at that time. The good thing is that now when I came back, I brought friends who had left it due to similar situations. So Chetal mentioned something about friends playing together, but what about the other 3? Did you meet any friends that were playing the game, or did you bring any friends again back in the game?
I didn't find all friends. Maybe I could have searched a bit more, but didn't yet. But I did bring bunch of people from my current work.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to start a league in Arena for all the coworkers that they want to join, and they are still in the tutorial, some of them. So just giving them some time to catch up, and then we'll get on it.
So, are you planning on inviting some of them to your league as well? Like trying to, if there's an empty slot, of course, to make some friends swap the league with one of the bots or something so that you can play together, or just Arena?
Well, the thing is that since I live in Lisbon now, most of the people that I invited are Portuguese playing in the League of Portugal, so I can't really do that.
Of course.
But I also brought my brother back. So for the next league, I'm going to suggest him to join my league. So at least I can win one game.
So you brought him back. So he was playing as well.
Yes, he was.
Oh, nice. That's an interesting clash, the clash of brothers. What about you, Toibuft or Akandar? Do you have any friends playing?
Yeah, I invited my brother, but just to fulfill an achievement. So because I am chasing the achievements.
But you know, he has to stay. He has to stay for 12 months.
Yeah, I was following him to log in month after month.
So you keep reminding him, keep logging in.
Yeah. Actually, achievements, they are great feature as well. Really, love it.
Nice.
And
Actually, I found people who played back in the days when I played. I recognized their nickname in the forums, which was nice. I didn't bring any friends so far, and I just thought why I didn't do that. And I think it's really hard to explain the game to outsiders. Like why should they play it, right? That's maybe something you guys could come up with a nice story, or maybe with a short YouTube clip or something like that you can just send to friends. Because like when you explain why you play Hattrick, it sounds rather dull. And you ask yourself, why does that sound so dull? It makes so much fun. So maybe it would be a good way to have a professional way of explaining why Hattrick is special, right? So that might be a good idea. But I'll probably go to. I've seen there's a regular live meet in the Frankfurt area here, so I'll probably show up there with like a big community. So I'll pay them a visit to see if that spirit still is like it was back in the days.
Nice.
Yeah, I hope. For me, I just hope that the community in Romania stays like it was and it is still. There are many old players and players from the times I used to play. Some of them I'm seeing now. It's a funny fact because I went back into the game and I started to see, okay, that guy won the championship. That guy that I knew already won the Romanian Cup. That guy that I knew and I know still, he's the national coach of Romanian team. The other one is on under 21. The other one is the national coach of Switzerland. And I was like, okay, everybody's having something in Hattrick. Everybody that I know is having a function now. Is having a. I started to feel a little bit concerned. But there are a lot of people that are still in the game, and I really like that it is like that, and the community. And I saw new faces, new friends, and I made new friends. I asked one of the new GMs, GM Shady, if he's here around, hello, to help me with something to recuperate my silverware there in the my old silverware, and he did it gladly. It's a nice community. It's a nice community, and I really like this.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
I was going to say that isn't it Papa Mish who says that Hattrick is more than a game; it's a community. I think it's so true.
In back in the days, I felt it like it was like a bigger family, because we saw each other regularly. We were playing football. We were friends with each other and things like this. Okay, even if I lost contact with this community for a period, I'm still feeling it like a family. I told you I saw several of the guys last year visiting Romania. I saw several of the guys for late night drink, something like that. Everybody at the table was playing Hattrick, with my exception, excepting me, and I still felt like I was in the family. Yeah? So that's why I'm so glad to be back.
Okay, were you saying something, Johan?
No, I was just gonna ask, like, if you have any, what's your goals now that you're back in Hattrick? Like, what are you're focusing on? Because Proven, you mentioned your youth player, like that's the focus maybe. But like, what are you trying to achieve? Are you know?
So I'm trying to make sense of the forward cycle that I'm gonna create for this player. I still don't have all the information that I should have. I still don't know how this can work in the long term, because of course I'm not gonna be able to train a lot of playmaking for other players. So for me, my objective is to grow this kid, build a team around it, and the thing that would make me more happy, the happiest, would be maybe to bring him to the national team. That would be such a great achievement for me. And then, of course, get the team to grow, not fast, because it's not possible to grow, to accelerate the growth, but steadily, to have a good base to remain competitive.
Nice.
Okay, so shall we highlight another question for you all? As you all recently returned to the game, any advice for the other ones who return? It's something slightly similar to what we said, but Akanda?
Don't sack your players. None of them. don't head to the transfer market to get that 1K excellent forward. They are not better than your starting squad, because that's also something that changed with introduction of the own club bonus and like the loyalty and everything. They're actually not bad, the starting players, so make sure of that. Fortunately, I found out soon enough, but I sacked already like 2 or 3 guys.
That's true. It's something that I noticed too, the loyalty and the home club, the bonus. I mean, you can get like 1.5 skills more compared to a newly signed player. So yeah, it's something I actually did wrong at the beginning as well. So it's a nice advice. Any other? Jetal?
If I may, I can tell them that, okay, don't rush in. Just try to learn very, very well what were the changes in the game and things like that. And don't play for results, play for fun. For the first seasons at least, play for fun. That's the try to train, try to do something to grow up your team, because if you're playing for results from the first moment, probably you won't get the results on long term. Play on long term and try to have fun and forget about the results.
I would disagree. Make 4 teams and play for results with some of them, and train properly in the others.
I'm still with 1 team, and it's enough for the moment. It's enough. Maybe in the future. Thank you.
Well, and I think, Toy, both you mentioned Hattrick Arena as well, right? So maybe another thing to get results out of a new team is like play easy tournaments, or tournaments that are your level.
Actually, to play rankings as well. The starting season rankings are great. And yeah, under 21 ranking is great as well, because you don't need so much money to be competitive in this ranking. You need, for example, 20 million euros to build competitive team in this ranking. So it's 2 seasons of training, like three seasons of training to have a competitive team. So Arena is great. Arena is great, and I would recommend to them to read the unwritten manual on the conference, because it's the core of the game to know these principles. And actually, Johan, you asked about adding tactics into the game, new tactics and so on. I think actually the tactic system is very balanced now, and I would be very afraid to add something new, because it will be disbalanced, and it's for a long time to make it proper. But I think many players don't use the possibilities of the tactic system to use, because it's much more wider than you can see for the first look. So the unwritten manual is great. And
Well, you meant.
Sorry, and I didn't understand why it isn't part of the manual, usual manual.
Well, you mentioned that unwritten manual. There's something that really changed since the first time I was in Hattrick. I was really amazed how much has been discovered. Like back in the days, everything was a mystery. We knew roughly 10 or 20% of that should be the factor. Oh, is there clowns? Is there no clowns? We never know. So, and it's really sad that everything has been discovered. And like the recent change to that you did to the.
We are still making some discovery in our Czech community for some special events these days. So we still make some discovery.
That's a very interesting, philosophical question almost, because there is, when we started, we really didn't want to explain everything, and in many cases we didn't understand ourselves exactly what the formulas did, because it was not supposed to be known. Then of course, since the community were researching on, and that was a very big factor in creating the community, because people came together to do the research. And obviously once they have found out, it's in the unwritten manual, and there's a pressure on us to incorporate that into the official manual, which we have done to a degree. But I think there always needs to be something that the community is in the, has to guess a little bit about and not understand totally. So, it's a little sad when it's all discovered, I think.
Okay, great.
So you are saying there are some Easter eggs nobody knows about them in the game?
There's surely stuff that we don't know yet about that. No, it's not that much now, but I think there is maybe some areas where we're trying to. I mean, I wouldn't say simplify, because it shouldn't be too simple. But I mean, there are some areas in Hattrick that are complex on the outside, but they look more complex than they need to look, because the game is actually not that complex, but it's very confusing for new users. So there could be places where we change things just for them to make more sense for a new user, and we might need to tweak and change some factors, and then maybe we don't explain exactly what we did. I mean, there are some places where this might happen, but in general, I think we're in a pretty good place.
Okay, guys.
Now I got everyone worried about what I actually meant.
Is there
Don't worry.
anything else that any of you wants to mention? Chetal?
I'm really glad that I see you again, some of you, especially Johan, because I know him for a long period of time, and wish you best of luck with the game, and best of luck to the other guys in my position tonight. Look, it's pretty nice, as I told you, to meet old friends, and Hattrick will be always an old friend and dear friend.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to get an excuse to have a beer with all of you at some point. So
Gladly.
we'll see. Yeah. Cool. Thanks a lot for coming.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you and listening to you and to your feedback and your experiences. So I don't think there are any more questions. So if you want to say bye or a last word or something that you want to say before we switch off, it's your moment.
I can say I'm halfway through my homegrown league cup match here, and 1-1 so far. So are you still in the cup, Chetal? You won? No, okay.
No, because I took the team exactly in the second week of this season, so I was already out of the cup, but well, okay. I'm thinking about playing some arena games with the friends and things like this, tournaments, and next season the cup.
Okay.
I'm also still in the HGL Cup this year.
Nice.
So 0-0, yeah, so far.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing for me, though.
No. I'm gonna add you to my live to see how you're doing.
Yeah.
I just got the other team just got a red card, so I'm quite happy.
That was your magic button, I guess. I need to
I pressed the button. Yeah, I pressed the button. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So thanks everyone for joining. It was a pleasure having you, and see you around.
See you around. Thanks a lot.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.